Following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my shows from 5 to 9 a.m. on WVNN in Huntsville, from 10 until 11 on Talk 99.5 in Birmingham, and News Radio 1440 down in Montgomery, and then again for the lucky people in North Alabama on the from 3 until 4. With me, as always, Mecca Musick. She is the CEO of 256today.com, smart news for smart people. Mecca, thanks for being here.
It has been an incredible week, and I am thrilled to be here.
Yeah, it's a thrilling week, and we got a lot to talk about. Former Congressman Mo Brooks will be with us. We'll talk with him about all the stuff going on in Washington, D.C., including the House count, which has now come into view, and different people from the House possibly going to the Trump administration. And then I've got a parting shot for you at the end of this program about the leadership fight in the Senate and how silly all of that was. But right now, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute warning. All right, Beck, I don't know if you called this a wild week, but I believe you did, and I think that it absolutely is. But the real question that I have for you is, now that Trump's second term is coming into focus, it's only been a week and some change, it's going to be pretty wild. We're seeing some of the things that are happening here, and some of the picks, some of them make sense, like Marco Rubio. Cool. I can understand that.
I don't think that would raise too many eyebrows.
But team of rivals, little Marco, tiny hands, all that kind of stuff. And then you have stuff like Pete Hegseth, a Fox News guy, also a combat veteran, Bronze Star, Veterans Charity.
But the reason people are second-guessing this one is because he hasn't had any giant government experience. It's an $800 billion budget. I mean, people, I think, have a right to maybe, raise an eyebrow.
Oh, yeah, you could raise questions about it all you want. But what I was interested, I thought we'd be coming in and talking about that. And I'd be like, okay, that's probably the craziest one. But this guy, but look at what the establishment military folks have done. And then I think, okay, maybe we might go outside the box here a little bit. But then there's Matt Gaetz.
Yes, that's got to be the wildest pick. If that's the question, that one is the wildest pick.
The now former congressman from Florida, he's got some ethics investigation issues. There's a lot
that was still ongoing.
That were still ongoing, and then he resigned in order to pursue being appointed as the Attorney General. Collins, Murkowski, Markwayne Mullin from Oklahoma. These are all individuals who have raised red flags. Those are the only ones that have done it publicly. That's 3 out of 53. He's probably doomed at this particular point.
Probably. I mean, so he has to be confirmed. And with that many already coming out and saying, I just don't think so, there's a lot of speculation it's not going through.
Now, we'll see if there'll be a recess appointment, and there'll be a lot of legal stuff over that. But the Gaetz thing is a complete shocker. Out of complete left field. Tulsi Gabbard, Dogecoin, the firm or whatever him and Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk are doing, that's crazy stuff.
It is.
But I could have predicted that. Matt Gaetz, I don't think you could have predicted Matt Gaetz being a part of this. I'll give you the last word on this, but my prediction is he is a sacrificial lamb. They're throwing him to the media hyena saying, go ahead, go nuts, go after him. And then they're okay. You got one.
And then everybody else slides in?
Yeah, and everyone else
that's a good theory.
Well, they're eating him. The rest of them just walk away. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about somebody we thought might be going to the Trump administration, but turns out he's not. Tommy Tuberville, the senator from the great state of Alabama. Senator Tuberville was expected to maybe head up the Department of Education before he kills it. That was one thing that was suggested. There was also some suggestion that he would be over the VA. And then there's always been these rumblings from, I think, the less than talented individuals inside Alabama's media who are suggesting that Tommy Tuberville would be a candidate for governor. I never bought any of this, okay? None of it. I mean, but I'm the guy who asked Tommy Tuberville if he'd go coach the Florida Gators. So what do I know?
That's true.
The reality on all of this is simple, though. He's never been in the majority in the Senate. Now, not that he's been there a long time, but the guy likes to fight. And it's easier to fight from on top than as the underdog. And now he's going to be on top. As soon as they got that, I said, he's not leaving. There's zero. If Trump had won,
not even for a cabinet position, you don't think he would have done?
No. If Trump would have won and they not taken the Senate, then I could see him leaving and going and doing it. But at this particular point in time, Tuberville is a guy who is in the front.
Yeah, he gets to fight as the heavyweight.
Yes, he gets to fight. I mean, this weekend, Mike Tyson's going to kill Jake Paul. I think that he wants to be Mike Tyson in this situation, and I think that we're going to see.
And he very well might.
Right, and I think Tuberville running for governor was such a long shot in the grand scheme of things. Why come back and get into a Republican primary for absolutely no reason when you're already a United States senator? It's not like you're going to be a bigger star as the governor. Who's the governor right now? Kay Ivey, and they're naming a prison after her. I mean, so
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But hey, I do need to add something to this topic, because when you're not going to run for re-election, you don't come out and say that. Then you're just a lame duck sitting there. So
you say nothing, though. You don't say that. That would be called lying.
I'm just saying. I would never say never. I would not be shocked if something else came along. But I do believe that he running for re-election. But if he wasn't, it's not like he's going to say he's not running for re-election.
He offered this up on his own. I mean, they're talking about it, but you don't have to answer that question. I'll make that decision when we get there. We'll discuss it later. Now's not the time. No, he said,
no,
I'm
they
running
all
for...
say this.
They don't all say
I
that.
think he's running for re-election. I am just adding a small little asterisk.
Okay, so maybe. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about something else Tommy Tuberville's been talking about a lot, and that is the Space Command. Now, in North Alabama, the Space Command was supposed to be set up temporarily in Colorado and then come down to Alabama and be here with all of the other military infrastructure that is in North Alabama. Well, Joe Biden becomes president, and he says, I think I'd rather give this to a blue state. So they take it away from where it's supposed to go in North Alabama. They skip over 3 other states and say, why don't we just leave it right there in Colorado, which would be a great, I guess, gift to the blue state of Colorado. Well, they did that, and then Joe Biden lost. This is like an executive order to me. You have these guys come in and they make these decisions that go on against the decisions that have already been made.
Are you talking about Biden?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the next guy comes in and reverses the decision. So now Trump comes in and now he can reverse the decision back to Huntsville. They got to get this up built. You got to get this thing built.
I think you're glossing over the fact that Huntsville was the #1 choice according to numerous studies.
I said that.
Okay,
they skipped over all these things. And Huntsville #1. Huntsville the best. Huntsville #1. My wife works in the defense industry. Okay, I agree with you. I mean, I'm going to get fired one day. She'll have a job forever.
And I feel like it's remedying a mistake that was
made. I agree with that. My point was, when you do stuff like this that's clearly political, once the other side gets in, they can come back and say, okay, well, we're going to make the same political move.
Exactly.
And what are they going to say? Oh, this is political. It's like, well, you said it was political before. They admit, the part that really was interesting about this is you had all these people saying, well, Tommy Tuberville's the reason this happened. Because he was fighting with the VA about abortion. And that in itself makes it a political move. It's like an admission, and then they say, well, it wasn't political. And it clearly was. And now you got...
Well, and I wouldn't say that was the main issue.
It wasn't even... No, of course, it was just a gift. I mean, this was a gift. That's all it was. But blaming Tuberville is something that they wanted to do.
Well, that's just fun to do, yeah.
Right. But then they have to argue it's not political, but then they blame Tuberville. You can't do both. You have to choose which one of it is. The Republicans in Colorado are going to try to fight this. Well, they're going to lose.
Listen, it's not just us saying, it's not just Rogers. It's not just, North or Alabama people saying this. I mean, the newspapers in Colorado are running stories. It's moving. It's happening. So it's not just us, and it's very, very likely going to happen.
You're really burying the lead. It's happening. I mean, there's no very likely it's happening. All right, let's move on. Kay Ivey's going to prison, or at least that's what it looks. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Kay Ivey is going to have a prison named after her. Excuse me, that is my mistake. I don't know why you would want this, but the Kay Ivey Correctional Complex is going to be a thing in Elmore County, and I hate this. I despise this with every fiber of my being. Not that it has anything to do with Kay Ivey, but we should not be taking politicians who are alive and putting their names on buildings. The only way I want to see Kay Ivey's name on this building is if she's going to prison for some reason, and then you can rename it if you want to, but she's not doing that. They're naming this after the person who signed the bill getting the funding done. It's got COVID money. It's got all sorts of other stuff. This is a terrible precedent.
No. This is how these things work. Look how many Shelby buildings we have throughout Alabama.
This is not a good argument, by the way.
There's a reason we have it. But wait, let's get back to the prison. Like, it's a $1 billion prison
One
at
of
this
two
point.
that they're building, possibly three.
Like, it's on 300 acres, 54 buildings. To me, I was more surprised that she'd want her name on it as like, this is your legacy.
I don't know why she'd want that
because she has championed so many other education, immigration, things like that. But in a statement from her office, they did say, she has prioritized this, prisons, and trying to help. Obviously, we know something needs to be done. Are you against it? The prison in itself, or are you against it being named after KIV?
First off, I'm all for warehousing criminals. Okay, so I if anything, the prison they're building is too nice and houses too few people. It should just be a giant brick building that is full of beds. That's all it should be. So it's not that. It is. You do not name things after politicians that are still alive, and you definitely don't name it after people who are responsible for bringing the funding in.
That's just not how it works. I don't know what to tell you.
This is my argument. This is my argument. If you wanted to do this and name this after a governor, Governor Bentley, Governor Siegelman, Governor Hunt, people who might have actually been inside prisons or should have been at some point in time, those are the people you name it after. You don't name it after Meemaw. Okay, it's just,
in this specific instance, I like your suggestions. I will say that.
Yeah, they name it after anybody else. I think they should do an online poll and let people name it that way. They got to fix this. KIV, have some pride.
It's going to be named the KIV.
Isn't she like all about some road out in West Alabama? US
That
43?
should also
make
be
that the KIV Expressway or something. You don't need to do it in this prison. That's an absolutely terrible idea. All right, when we come back, former Congressman Mo Brooks will be with us. What kind of prisons would he like named after him? Maybe we'll discuss that with him here in a bit, but we'll probably talk about what's going on in Congress and get his thoughts on that. Stay tuned. It's Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Extra anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
Call 877-744-0750. That's 877-744-0750. 877-744-0750.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Get the latest scoop on Bama straight from the coach's mouth. Stream the Kalen DeBoer Show anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Musick. And our guest this week, former Congressman Mo Brooks, who I'm guessing had a less stressful last couple of weeks than he used to around these times.
2 years, last couple of years.
Okay, well, I'm just talking about because of the election. The election itself is now done and over with. Looking at what's happening in Congress right now is pretty amazing. The Republicans held on to the majority, or took the majority, I guess, in the Senate, held on to the majority in the House. It's still very close. There's still a lot of counting going on. Donald Trump now has all three chambers to do what he wants to do. Are Republicans better situated right now than they were at the beginning of the original Trump campaign?
Oh, no. We had a bigger majority after the 2016 elections than we have now. And I've already been advising various Republicans around the state that the key to successful 4 years is real simple. In 2016, lots of promises made in order to get the votes of the American people. Balance the budget, breach that promise. Border security, build a wall, make Mexico pay for it, breach that promise. Repeal Obamacare, breach that promise. And the result was the public was dissatisfied. Nancy Pelosi reinstated as Speaker of the House after the 2018 elections. In 2020, we lost the House, we lost the Senate, and we lost the White House. So the key this 4 years is for the Republicans to do the honorable thing and actually keep the promises they made in order to win this election cycle. And they better do it.
Now, Congressman, earlier Dale and I were speaking about some of the picks that some of us might consider a little wild for the Trump administration coming up. What is the criteria you think to be appointed in these positions?
Oh, it's pretty simple. Absolute loyalty to Donald Trump and a willingness to skirt the fringes of the law for Donald Trump when he so requires it. If you're willing to do those two things, then you're willing to be, then you're able to be considered.
Would you
Simple as that.
Well, like loyalty is always part of this. I think what you're getting at, and I'm not disagreeing with you, is with Trump, loyalty is very important, more so than anyone else. But very rarely do you have people you disagree with say, yeah, come on, be in my administration, work against me. Well, rarely do you see that.
Do you feel like some of these are underqualified, perhaps? Can I ask that?
Well, you never really know what's qualified for these positions, okay? There's no set of criteria. But when I talk about loyalty, look at Donald Trump's history. He's got a lot of people who are fired and a lot of people who have done his bidding that have been in jail, okay? So Donald Trump demands a lot more of the people who associate with him than probably any other president in the history of the United States, at least in terms of being right on the edge of the law, some of whom have stepped over the boundaries of the law as they do what President Trump has wanted them to do.
This is going to be a choose your own adventure question because how you answer the next thing I say is going to determine where we go from here on out. Which appointment is wilder? Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth?
Oh, Matt Gaetz, without question.
All right. So you worked with Matt Gaetz.
Yes.
There's a
we
lot.
often sat next to each other.
Friendly?
What's your take? Like, give us the unfiltered take.
He's brilliant. He is one of the most able speakers, orators in the House of Representatives, and he's also one of the most ethically troubled individuals that you're going to run across.
So
let's not forget, this is that Mike Rogers and him nearly got in a fist fight.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Let's not forget about that.
I was going to ask you, who would have won that fight between Mike Rogers and Matt Gaetz?
Probably, well, Mike Rogers would have been stronger, but Matt Gaetz would have fought dirtier to win.
That's probably...
I wasn't meaning to go off in that direction, but let's bring it back to a second here. any chance Matt Gaetz gets through a Senate confirmation process? It sounds crazy. There's 53 people, 3 of which I talked about them earlier, Murkowski, Collins, and Mark Wayne McMullen out of Oklahoma. Seem like they're already no's. That's what it sounds like to me. I got to assume there's another one out there laying around. Is there any chance he gets through?
Yes, there is a chance.
Oh my God, you're giving me a Mo Brooks answer. It's a small chance, right?
Well, I don't know how much pressure the Trump machine is going to put on these senators. The senators and House members are all cognizant of the Trump vote out there and how Donald Trump is able to manipulate that vote and take out people who don't do exactly what he says. And so any of these congressmen and senators who vote what they believe is right for America, but contrary to what Donald Trump wants, they're at risk of losing their next election.
But we saw
so they're going to take that into account.
Well, and Dale has a theory, though, that he's a sacrificial lamb and then everybody else goes through.
Well, that is one of the possibilities.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, here, destroy him. And then we'll, like, the rest, everyone will run to the back door later on.
Why Matt Gaetz? Vindictiveness and revenge. Matt Gaetz probably hates the leadership of the Justice Department as much as Donald Trump does. And so if you're in the Justice Department...
They didn't prosecute him.
Well, yeah, but they harassed him for many years.
Right.
And they tarnished his reputation for many, many years. Now, whether it's justified or not, we really don't know because the public hasn't been able to glean the evidence. If the Ethics Committee report were to come out, that might provide the details that show whether this investigation...
That's coming, though. You know it's going to be
justified. Do you believe that's coming out either through a leak or the hearings?
Well, if I were in the FBI and the FBI is required to do a background check on someone who wants to be confirmed by the Senate for the cabinet, attorney general, people like that, first thing I do is I ask the House Ethics Committee for the information that they have and the report that they were going to issue. And then the question is going to be, will the House Ethics Committee deliver it, keeping in mind that the House Ethics Committee is half Republican, half Democrat. So if half the Republicans say no, then it could be blocked, but then again, it might still be leaked.
And you might also have one of those Republicans who are like, I don't like Matt Gaetz. So I'll go with the Democrats.
There
are a lot of those.
Right, and that's what, okay, so I guess as we run out of time here, we've got about a minute left. Let me ask this then, and I'll ask it to you this way. If Matt Gaetz is not confirmed, and you talk about pressure, let's talk about the pressure. They wanted, apparently Trump World wanted Rick Scott, and I'll talk about this in the party shot in a minute, but they couldn't get that done. They got 13 votes. They couldn't get it done. So, but I think they'll put more pressure on the whole potential attorney general thing. Trump's going to have to push a lot of pressure. Does he do that?
Well, Donald Trump ultimately is going to have to put pressure on whoever his, in support of whoever his attorney general nominee is going to be, because Donald Trump has a history of wanting people to break the law. And you saw that with Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions wouldn't do it. Great senator from the state of Alabama, would have been a great attorney general, except that Donald Trump fired him because Jeff Sessions adhered to our ethics rules. And Donald Trump didn't like that.
Right, he didn't want him to do that. He wanted him to
That's how they got crosswise. Right. And if Donald Trump wants an attorney general who reflects his lack of belief in law and order, then he's going to have to push really hard to get that kind of person through the Senate.
I'll take it another direction. He wants vengeance, and Matt Gaetz is willing to carry that out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we agree on that. Congressman Mo Brooks, former Congressman, we always appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time here today. Mecca is on her way out. Show gets a lot better on the other side. It's Alabama Politics this week. Stay tuned.
What's the address of your emergency? My 2-year-old son. We can't find him.
From the Fox 54 Plus True Crime Series.
I did not get an attorney because I'm a guilty man. I got an attorney because I'm tired of being accused of something I would never do.
Little man's gone. He's missing. We can't find him.
Little Man Lost. Available now on Fox 54 Plus. Stream on your schedule.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solutions Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. US Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. US Med. Better service. Better care.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. Thank you very much for being here. We'll wrap up the show with a party shot here in just 1 second. But before we do, let me remind you, head on over to yellowhammernews.com right now. Sign up for my email blast. And every single morning, Monday through Friday, you'll get 7 things from me that you should be talking about that day. It's awesome. Go there, yellowhammernews.com. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to that party shot. My party shot this week is directed at everyone who was so upset about this vote in the Senate over leadership. Look, guys, you won. Okay, let me just explain something to you. You won. If you're MAGA, you won. Being upset that John Thune or John Cornyn was there and Rick Scott wasn't makes absolutely no sense. You have the House, the Senate, the presidency, by all accounts, the Supreme Court. The only thing you don't really have is the media and pop culture, and you just beat them. And so you should be relatively happy about that right now. But I've seen a lot of consternation this week about ways different senators may have voted or may not have voted, specifically Katie Britt, the senator from the great state of Alabama. A lot of people are saying, she didn't vote for Rick Scott, not mad at her, we're going to primary her. First off, that's adorable. And no, you're not. You're not going to primary her. She's going to be a senator as long as she decides she wants to be a senator. Secondly, she voted for Rick Scott for majority leader. You know who said that she did? Rick Scott. Rick Scott thanked her for her support and her vote on social media. So either you pressured her into doing what you wanted her to do, or she did what you wanted her to do and was going to all along. Either way, you got what you wanted. Here's a suggestion for you. Look at the state of the world today versus this time 2 weeks ago. And you should be looking at this and saying, wow, we are really winning. The whining and being sore losers about this makes absolutely no sense to me, but I have seen a lot of it on social media over the last week. So it might be time to move on because there are a ton of fights coming right now. And if you're fighting within your party right after a huge victory, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But it looks like that's what we're going to get a lot of right now. And we saw during the last Trump term that Republicans fighting Republicans, that's not really good for Republicans. So you might want to think about in what direction you want to go here now that there is a situation where the House, the Senate, and the White House are all in your control. It's very simple to be angry. It's a lot easier, or it's a lot harder to be content with what's going on, but that's where you should be right now. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you next week.